Nelson Mandela's Children's Fund is hosting the Boy Joy Summit in Parktown today. The initiative is aimed at mobilizing boys from grades 9 and 10 across the country to be proactive participants in the fight against gender-based violence. Newzroom Afrika's Katleho Sekhotho is part of our team in Parktown as the summit begins, and she joins us now live. And I wonder what some of the boys themselves have to say about this, Kat, their involvement and their roping in at this early stage to make sure that they too contribute in the fight against no violence on women and children.
Certainly, Ayanda, what we've seen here at the Rodin School for Girls is the young boys, a class of about 26 young boys from different provinces, 4 different provinces, gathered here today and taking part in interactive activities with each other, with chaperones, just discussing some of the ways they find that they struggle in their day-to-day lives, but also understanding their sense of identity in the world, and obviously all of this coming down to how the fund is trying to deal with the scourge of gender-based violence and addressing it through, communication and discourse with young boys. And I want to bring in one of them now, Sekhotho, who's part of the chats. A leader in your own community. Sekhotho, just tell me why you wanted to be part of today's conversation.
Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Sekhotho and I am part of the Young Urban Men Advocacy Group, which is a gentleman's club that advocates for socio-economic issues. And being part of this event is such a great honor and privilege to actually represent young men around the country.
So Sekhotho, there's so many challenges. What you're discussing here is, as a young boy, your sense of identity. What are some of the conversations that have been happening here?
Well, some of the conversations that have been held here, one being defining what a boy is, what men face, and what issues we young boys actually experience in our daily lives. So we're actually trying to eradicate and discuss on the solutions and what we can do to actually spread the word.
Thank you so much, Sekhotho. Ayanda, I want to also bring in here Dikgang, also a young leader in his own community. Dikgang, tell me, why did you want to get involved in this?
First of all, I would like to let you know that I'm serving as the president of the National Trans Parliament, so I'm working nationally. So for me, being part of this, it's a sort of an opportunity to hear from them, because I'm also forming part of the decision making that children go through. So it's very important to have conversations like this so that I can actually communicate with the young boys and actually see how we can actually assist them. I've managed to actually record some of the solutions that they came with, that indeed I can actually put in place in the parliament, so that they can debate on and come up with a way of actually acting regarding those solutions.
Yeah. Dikgang, this whole summit, from what I understand, is not just about, it's certainly about how men understand themselves within society, but this is also about dealing with gender-based violence. We've just come from the 16 days campaign activism against no violence on women and children. As it relates to gender-based violence, what are some of the chats that you're hearing now during today?
When it comes to gender-based violence, I think there's been a lot that have been talked about the way guys actually react in terms of whenever they're having issues, the anger issues and all those kind of things, right? So I also want to touch on this issue of actually when we talk about GBV, specifically it's all about women, and children are not actually being talked about. They don't given that opportunity to talk. So I think today we have managed to wrap up, just to hear from the young ones, to tell actually what they're going through, because in most cases always women, everything is always about women. So it's about a time that they have managed to talk about different sensitive actually topics that actually brought us together as young men to actually discuss all the social norms we're going through.
Thank you so much, Dikgang. Ayanda, you heard it there from the 2 young gentlemen, really engaged in these fruitful conversations about how young men identify within society, but also trying to deal with the scourge of GBV.
Katleho Sekhotho, an important story there unfolding in Parktown. Thanks for that update. We'll touch base with Katleho throughout the course of the afternoon.